because of decisions made in Ottawa. Whether it's Liberal or Conservative governments, they've made this choice. They've chosen to make the lives of multi-billionaires easier and harder for the rest of us. That's what they've done. And there's so many examples of how they've chosen to make life easier for the people at the very top and make life harder for everyone else. And I want to go through some of those examples. Now, Mr. Trudeau made a lot of promises. He made a lot of commitments, and he broke a lot of them. And they kind of wonder why he did that. Well, on the front of medication, it turns out that over 4 years, over the 4 years that he's been in government, he's met with either insurance lobbyists or pharmaceutical lobbyists over 875 times. By meeting with those lobbyists, that's multiple times a day in some cases. By meeting 875 times, and these are registered events that we can count. The result is medication in Canada is some of the highest prices in the world. It means that Mr. Trudeau and the Conservatives are never going to bring in the universal pharmacare that we need. And then families like that young man that I talked about are going to continue to suffer. That's because of a choice that this government and other governments have made. Now, when it comes to the telecoms community, the big telecom, the big cell phone companies, this Liberal government under Mr. Trudeau has met with big lobbyists from the telecom communities or those companies 565 times. So it's no wonder that in Canada, as a result, we're paying some of the highest cell phone bills in the world and the highest data charges in the world. Again, they make life easier for the multi-billionaires and harder for everyone else. And this should come as no surprise, but now guess how many times they've met with the fossil fuel sector. At a time when young people are worried about climate anxiety, when people are worried about the future, when we're seeing our country and our planet burn, forest fires in BC and massive flooding in the East Coast, how many times? Take a guess.
Over too many.
Over 1,000?
20,000.
It was like 1,500 times in the past 4 years. 1,500 that we can count. And it's no surprise that Mr. Trudeau abandoned the commitment to end fossil fuel subsidies. There's no surprise that he ended up buying a pipeline for $4.5 billion and continues to promise to expand that. It's no surprise that the climate crisis is going to worsen under Mr. Trudeau because the evidence is there. He met with the lobbyists, the most powerful fossil fuel sector companies, over 1,500 times. Now, given these worries that we have, we've seen the track record of the Liberals. I put to you that Conservatives aren't going to be any better.
Work.
Right? It's not going to solve the problem.
Cousins.
I don't know if it's possible, but they might make it even worse. They're going to say, we're going to put some money in your pocket. But then what's going to happen is you're going to pay the price when it comes to your healthcare, education, and the climate crisis is going to worsen. They don't care. They're going to sell this idea of a couple extra dollars, but it's going to cost you a lot more. And we've seen this in other provinces. Right now in Ontario, Mr. Ford came in on the promise of being for the people. He's been for the multi-billionaires. And what he's done is he's slashed education and healthcare, exactly what Mr. Scheer would do.